Welcome back to an all new episode of Couch Quickies. La 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 la.
Amazing. What a fucking perfect intro to our last Couch Quickie of December. Oh man.
It's another one.
Generic accent from nowhere.
It's from everywhere.
It's our everywhere accent, baby.
So stupid.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on again the last Couch Quickie for December.
The last Thursday.
Tuesday. Like Tuesday and
it's
Thursday.
not the last Tuesday though. Actually, we have one more. Okay.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. Anyway, this one we are doing on Christmas traditions. So as soon as Nadia stops crying.
I'm soggy.
Oh my god.
Okay,
so,
yeah. Traditions. Tradition.
Should we start the clock?
Yes, let's start the clock.
All right. So, where would you like to start with traditions?
Let's start with. Should we save the when did we realize Santa was not real for the beginning or the end?
We can start with that. Let's start with that.
Okay, let's start with that.
Let's start with the tradition of Santa Claus and finding out that it was all a lie.
It's all a sham.
Do you remember when you figured that out?
I do.
Really? Because I've been racking my brain because I knew we were going to talk about it.
Yes. You don't remember?
I don't have a recollection of when it happened. But I think that's because we did have Santa like at the house.
Uh-huh.
But very early on, we also had like a Mexican tradition that we'll talk about after we go through all this. So
you had an actual Santa at your house?
No, I mean as far as like the idea of Santa, it was big in my house. Like Santa Claus is gonna come, he's gonna give you
your mom
gifts
used it.
Yeah, she used it. But
did your dad use it?
Yeah, like they agreed to lie to me about it. Like
but
everybody else, but
what I mean by use it is did they abuse it?
No.
Scared you into being good because if you're not good, Santa's not coming.
I'm sure they threw it around every now and then, but I don't remember it ever being a big threat.
That was heavy at my house.
Really?
Very threatening. Christmas time, actually, my mom figured out a way to control me further and was like, listen, Santa watches all year, just so you know.
Right.
So don't think you could just be good in December. Because he watched your ass in the summertime, too. And she used to we would be out and about, like Home Depot, Costco, wherever. And she'd be like, doesn't that guy look like Santa? And then I would look over and he'd have like a beard. I'm like, is it? Like I would fully believe her. And I'd be like,
so you're like,
hey, Mom, do you need help? Like fully bought the story. Yeah. I swore I saw him a few times. I was convinced.
So how old were you when you figured that out?
The age, I don't exactly remember, but I remember that I was young, and I remember I was in full denial, and decided that I would still believe.
You're like, I don't care. I don't care what people say. I'm going to stick to it. All right.
I choose to believe.
Was it like someone at school?
Nope. So my mom, she would wrap, so like we discussed in the episode with Nas, my mom would do she would wrap all the gifts, Christmas Eve night, all the gifts were under the tree by then.
Mm-hmm.
Then Santa would come, do his thing, and then the next morning we would have gifts from Santa. Okay? And those gifts had different wrapping paper because that was Santa's wrapping paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, why would he have the same wrapping paper as my mom?
Right.
Dead giveaway. So one day I was just being a nosy little kid,
mm-hmm.
and I decided in our hallway of our house we had where the water heater was. And For some reason, I decided to just open and see what was in there. And there was a roll of Santa's wrapping paper. And I was like, Mom, what is this? And she was like, I remember she was like, oh, like, I don't even.
Like she was not prepared.
No,
for that.
She was not prepared. She was shocked. I don't really recall what she said, but it didn't matter because I decided, I was like, I don't care. He's real. Nothing can change my mind. I was like, I think she said something like, oh, he left the paper there so he could wrap it or some shit like that. And I totally bought it. I was like, I'm choosing to believe this story. It lines up with my beliefs.
You're like, whew, yeah. That's a close call.
Yeah. But I knew.
I
knew deep inside he wasn't real. I started really questioning it and, started putting things together, asking more questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mom, if we don't have a fireplace, how does he get in our house? Oh, well, he's magical and he can walk through glass and doors and things were not adding up.
Damn, you had a super Santa.
Yeah. So things weren't adding up.
Well, we didn't have a chimney either.
Okay.
Right? So it's
what
does he come through the heater?
Ask,
the furnace?
Yeah.
The
furnace.
No, I mean I would ask, like, what's the deal? And they're just like, oh yeah, he knows how to get in. But it was never like, oh, he can walk through glass.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about him. He can disappear and reappear. But I guess once you're already believing that he's going to fly around the world, you know what I mean? You're just like, getting into my house is probably not a big deal.
Right. There's a lot of, that's when you start to question everything. You're like, so he visits the whole world in one night.
Yeah, we're like,
really? And he can get in your house without a chimney. He does exactly what you want. He eats everybody's cookies and he doesn't get full. Something's not adding up here.
Would you put out cookies?
Yeah, we did.
Would you bake the cookies?
Yeah, usually we bake them. I think maybe a couple times we put out Oreos because remember that one year I think Oreo did like a campaign with Santa. They did like a commercial where they did a commercial with they left Oreos out or some shit like that. And
I remember Oreo like Santa commercials.
I was like convinced, like, oh,
it was
we
like
have to leave out Oreos.
Give him Oreos.
Yeah.
All the other cookies are whack.
Yeah, they're like, Santa will only come if you leave Oreos.
I left Oreos for Santa though. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it was because that's just the cookie I would prefer.
Right.
So that was the cookie in the house.
Right. So yeah, so those cookies were for our parents.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty sure my mom would just pour the milk back into the gallon.
Yeah,
I'm not leaving this out all night. Are you crazy?
Really. Or drank it that night.
Nah,
sorry, guys.
Drink a glass of milk.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Spoiler alert. Santa is not real. If you didn't know.
Someone's tuning in. It's like, what?
Yeah. Make sure your kids are not listening to this episode. This is not for them.
This is not sponsored by Santa.
No. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So, okay. So like, try to keep it a little, did you have the normal, like, American Christmas, like where everything happened on Christmas Day?
Oh, is that a normal American Christmas?
I feel like, right, like in all the movies and everything and everything,
they wake up.
It's always Christmas Day, like wake up Christmas, and then that's when all the stuff pops off.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that that for you?
We did. Yeah. Yeah, we did one present Christmas Eve night.
Okay,
we got to open one.
At what time?
We could pick. I think at midnight.
Nice.
Or no. I don't know. It might have changed because we also had the tradition with my mom that we would go to midnight mass.
Oh, okay.
We would go to mass with my mom at midnight.
So then you would open the gift when you got home.
I think it was either before or after. I can't remember. Might have been before because we would get home late and go to bed. But yeah, so we did that. We opened one gift, went to mass. Next morning, got to open everything. Barely could sleep. I just remember like really being into it and really telling my mind that I was hearing bells and like just all kinds of like, oh, did you hear that thud? That's probably him. He's probably here. He's loading them up right now. Like I was mystified.
Well, for us, it was different because we all got together Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So it was dinner and drinking and dancing and hanging
That's
out.
fun.
And then some of my family would go to midnight mass,
Mm-hmm.
and then some obviously would not.
Right.
But when they got back from midnight mass, then we would all be allowed to open gifts.
Ah, okay.
And that would be like that would be amazing. Because like I said, as the family got bigger and bigger, there was always more gifts. So it was
Right.
We'd open all our gifts, and then everybody had to go home, obviously. And by the time you get home, it's like 2:30, 3 in the morning.
Right.
So you just pass out. I mean, wake up Christmas Day and maybe the one that mom and dad hadn't taken. Because why are they going to transport the gift all the way to grandma's house?
Right, right.
So then we would open another gift on Christmas, and then do some, like maybe go to grandma's and get some leftovers or whatever periodically. Like throughout the day, everybody would just kind of maybe show up, but it was all about Christmas Eve for us.
I mean, you guys all live really close together, so for you guys to get together was a lot easier. It made sense for you guys. Like my parents moved to Orange County, and all of her sisters, because my dad's side of the family is mostly still in Iran.
Okay.
And he's got some Persian, he's got a niece and like a cousin and stuff, but that's about it. So we were far from our family, our LA family. It wasn't a quick, close thing. But I do remember the first year that my parents moved into their house was like, I don't know if it was 94 or 97, but it was in the 90s. And we just moved into that house that my parents still have. And it was a tract home. Everything was brand new, built from the ground up. So it was like a big deal for my parents because we went from like a tiny 2-bedroom house in Stanton to this, like it was such a big deal for us to move into this big house.
Yeah, it's a big house.
And my dad saved all this money for so long. Like it was a big deal and we wanted to celebrate. So we had everyone come over and we had like no furniture either. So it's this huge house, no furniture. We saw everyone bring blankets and pillows and all my mom's sisters came over, brought their kids. Everyone spent the night and just found a place on the floor. And that was cool. One of the best Christmases we had too. It was just like the one time we were all together. Because we didn't get to do that the way that you guys did. Kind of sucks.
What about like caroling?
No. We didn't do that.
You never got involved in a neighborhood carol session?
Did you?
No.
I feel like we don't do that here in California.
I know. Well, it's weird.
Do we?
I mean, no, some people do, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like it's a snow environment.
like the carolers.
Yeah, like it makes people want to go caroling in the snow.
I mean, I guess like if you have that white Christmas kind of deal, like I've never had a white Christmas, like in regards to waking up to snow or anything like that. You have?
You haven't?
Nah.
We did one year. I forgot about this. My dad took us to Mammoth, just my immediate family.
For Christmas?
My siblings and my parents.
Okay.
We got a cabin in Mammoth, and I think we bought like a really small last minute, whatever we could find tree. Didn't even really do anything to it. And then we opened gifts there and had a whole Christmas there, and that was really fun too.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, to be able to like look out the window and there's snow, and that'll give you the complete package.
Yep. It was cool. It was a good experience. That was the time that Armand and I were rough playing in the snow. And he was probably like 7 or 8 years old or something, and he had glasses, and we were roughhousing, and I knocked his glasses off, and we couldn't find them. They got lost in the snow, and we never found them.
Oh,
and he was
serious?
like blind the whole trip. He was so upset. Poor thing. And he was so mad because we were having a good time, and all of a sudden he's like, my glasses. And then we were searching, and he's like, thanks, Nadia. Like, he was so pissed. I felt bad, but what can you do?
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Well, okay, what about food? Do you ever have something that you always had at Christmas?
Not particularly. A lot of years, if my mom was in the mood for it, she would make tamales, but that was pretty much the one constant. We would always have a good Christmas dinner. My mom would make like a nice like Thanksgiving style Christmas dinner kind of thing. Like we would have turkey and stuff. It's basically Christmas all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of the same. Like
A lot of the same.
Not people, but like food
Yeah.
would show up again. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, I'm honey baked ham.
Yeah. We were cool.
Remember me? It's like cool.
Yeah.
We always had. I mean, we had tamales for sure. But we always had buñuelos.
Oh yeah.
Which was where it was at.
Yeah.
Like, we would only get those every Christmas.
They would home make or
Yeah, my
homemade?
grandma would make them.
Nice.
So, how would you describe a buñuelo? Because I would describe it as like a big, think of like a really crispy flour tortilla.
Yeah, flour. It's basically a sweet flour. It's dusted with sugar and is it cinnamon or brown sugar? Cinnamon.
It's cinnamon and sugar.
Cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah, but my grandma would make them in the stove, or she would make some that were also covered in like a syrup.
Oh, I never had those.
I want to say it was membrillo, but it's
okay.
It was just
sticky,
very syrupy. So they weren't crispy at all.
Oh yeah.
They were just, to me, it's just like they were gooey, but that made them to me soggy.
Yeah.
And I liked the other ones because they were just
crispy,
deep fried, and it was like crispy and so good, covered in sugar.
You could just get a tortilla, cut it up, deep fry it.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same idea. She just wouldn't cut it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got this big disc.
Oh, see, I like cutting it better because it's easier to eat.
Well,
just cut it up in little triangles.
Well, now because you're an adult, but as a kid, you're holding this big ass sugar disc. And you're just like, look at how awesome this is.
Yeah,
like taking huge bites. that was really fun. We used to always have that.
We should make that this year.
Some buñuelos?
Yeah,
I could do that.
Okay.
Oh,
well, all right excited.
Then. Well, maybe we will.
Maybe we will. We'll see. Yep. What else you got?
Well, here's the thing. Do you have any other Christmas traditions that you can just recall that you guys always did? Because,
no.
Well, I'm asking because when we were talking about it, I was thinking of the traditions, and they're very Mexican traditions, right? But we did do all of them, not consistent. Because you know what? Sometimes, I want to say maybe we went twice to Mexico for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
And Christmas in Mexico City, it goes off. It's like such a good time because fireworks, you know what I mean? And piñatas and just partying and so much fun. So I remember we went and we would do a Christmas tradition called Posadas, which I think you know what? It was on Ladies Like Us when we talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
And for anybody that doesn't know Posadas are, I'm going to just kind of read it so that I don't mess up the
definition.
Like not the definition of it, but just kind of like the way that it goes down. Posadas are, it's like a procession, right? Of you and your neighbors. And you go around, and it starts December 16th. And then it goes on for like 9 nights.
Okay.
And every night it's a procession where you go up to somebody's door, and then there's people inside, and then there's obviously people outside, and you do a sing-songy call and response, pretending to be Joseph and the Virgin Mary.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, hey, let us in, and the people inside say, no, there's no room, and then you kind of do that, I don't know, a couple times.
Okay.
And then eventually they open. And I don't remember if you go into other houses or if we just would do it all at one house. But you do it, finally they let you in. You go inside, you party. It's all great. And you do that for 9 nights.
Dang, 9 nights in a row?
Yeah, so it's like that, they spent so long in the desert trying to find a place to have this baby and blah, blah, blah. And again, like on the ninth night ends up being Christmas Eve. Okay. And then again, you have a dinner and you party and it's all great. And then Christmas just happens to be at midnight. So that's a big tradition that we would take part in when we would go to Mexico City. The other one was definitely like piñatas. Oh. Now, piñatas are good at every event. I don't care. Yeah. Whatever, baptisms, birthdays, funerals. I don't care. If you bring a piñata out, it's all good.
What kind of piñata? Was it like a Santa or something? Was it holiday looking?
Yeah, in Mexico, they buy into the Santa. Like, they celebrate like that. Like, you'll see a lot of those things come in. Christmas trees, snowy Christmas, Santa Claus. Right. But there's also their own traditions. Do you know what I mean? Like that, like Posadas. And then, like, again, piñatas. So, I got a story for you. So one year we went down there, and the idea is, okay, there's I think there's 8. I want to say there's 8 brothers and sisters on my dad's side.
Okay.
But the idea was like, okay, each one of your families, right? The Alcibar / whatever your wife's, name was. That family, you make a piñata. So it's a piñata of everyone. So there ended up being like 8 different piñatas, and then we'll parade them around in front of the family, and we'll judge them, and they could be whatever they want.
Oh,
and some of the stuff that came out was so good.
Your dad probably
because over there the piñatas that we were using were made out of jars of clay.
What?
Okay, like like a water jug, if you will.
Okay.
Like a decent size, but it's made out of clay, like terracotta.
So it's not like
it's not
paper piñata.
No. It was just you start with a jarro, like a straight up jar of clay, and then what you do is you get like, water and flour together.
Okay.
And then you mix that into like a little paste. And then you can just build it. So Mark and I, when we went, we made one that like the Mexican flag was on one side, the American flag was on the other side. Because we're like, hey, we're from here, but we live there, blah blah blah, and something like that. But one of my cousins made one that was a butt. And he hung some sweatpants with like stuffed with newspaper, whatever. So it looked like somebody's ass was like they had gotten pants. It was so good.
And you would smack the ass to break it open?
You have to break it with the stick, and it's a little harder because it's a straight up jar.
Yeah.
But
it's like ceramic?
it's straight up made out of clay.
That's dangerous.
So it falls and it's like
yeah. The heck?
So everybody was doing different things, like trying to be funny or whatever. So his had a bunch of cleaning products in it. The one that was the butt. So it was no candy or anything. It was cleaning products and like toothbrushes. No, toilet brushes, just like random stuff like that.
He fit full on cleaning products in there?
They're pretty decent sized jars. I mean, don't think there was like a whole plunger or anything. It was like just a bunch of little sponges and shit like that. Anyway, another one of my uncles, I feel like it was a cop out. But he came out and he's like, we're trying to end the violence against piñatas. So we don't want to see you guys beat them with a stick or whatever. So they took their piñata out and like just threw it on the ground, which I think was still violent to me. Yeah. But anyway, and then they gave everybody a bag of candy. I was like, this is so whack.
Yeah. Lame. Just play the game.
But my dad was like, hey, we've got a bunch of money. So at one point, the Mexican currency changed. Like they just, a lot of the stuff just didn't circulate anymore.
So we had all this
So we had all this money from like trips back and forth before this change that my dad just had. And he's like, it's worthless now. So it's like having Confederate money or something, So he was like, let's just take it. So he took it all to Mexico and we threw it all in the piñata. But he didn't tell any of his family that the money was no good. And then we filled it with flour. So our piñata was filled with flour and a ton of coins, like a lot of coins. So I remember he's like shaking it and you can kind of hear like, and he's telling everybody, he's like, hey, I don't want anybody to fight. I don't want to get it crazy, but there's a lot of money in here. So just let's have a good time. And everybody's like, what? The family from America came and they're going to shower us with money. It was so good. So they start going and it breaks. But it doesn't break open in the air. It like breaks at the rope.
Okay.
So it fell down
and shattered the money.
Everybody just jumped on it before it even hit the ground. And it was crazy because uncles and aunts and cousins, and they're all in there trying to get the money. And now that it's on the floor, it's broken. So now they are realizing that it's flour. And they're like digging and they're pushing each other out of the way. And then they start throwing flour at each other.
Oh my God.
So it becomes this huge mess.
Yeah.
And then after all that's over and we're all laughing, they realize that none of the money's any good.
Dang. After they're drenched in flour.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite memories ever.
That's hilarious. Such a good time. Did anyone film it?
Yeah.
Really?
We definitely have it.
We gotta see that.
I'll see. I think Mark had him transferred to DVD.
Maybe we need to restart this tradition
of piñatas.
Yeah.
But where are you gonna get the clay pots out here? If you go to like
we might have
Home
to
Depot,
just make our own.
You're gonna pay an arm and a leg for it.
Like just out of like paper mache and shit.
And yeah, I mean, why not?
We can make it.
Of course.
That could be fun. What else are we doing?
I know, right? We have tons of time to do arts and crafts.
We literally have no plans for Christmas.
I know.
I was like trying to go see my mom, but she's like, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't come.
I know, it's tough.
So I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. It's a very different Christmas.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Wah.
Back to traditions.
Yeah, well, you know what? There was I guess 2 more, but they're kind of wrapped together. This goes back to the Santa thing that you were talking about.
Uh-huh.
My dad would talk a lot about the Reyes Magos.
Okay.
And the Reyes Magos refers to the 3 wise men, the 3 kings, or whatever you want to call them. They came to visit baby Jesus. So there's a day, January 6th.
Uh-huh.
On January 6th, that's when the Reyes Magos would come. So my dad would have us put our shoes. Some people put their shoes outside the house or whatever, but my dad would have us put some shoes like right by our bed or whatever.
Yes.
And then that morning when we'd wake up, there'd be like candy or maybe a toy in our shoes.
I remember. I totally forgot about this because we did this at our private school.
Oh, really?
At my Catholic school that I went to, St. Justin Martyr in Anaheim, California.
Bang. Shout outs,
Shout out, not sponsored.
Not sponsored by a private school.
We used to, I totally forgot about this because I remember doing it, but I didn't remember why we did it. But we would all take our shoes off and leave them in the hallway. And then I don't remember if it was our principal or whoever, somebody would come by.
This is getting creepy.
No, they would fill up our shoes with like candy canes or shit like that.
Okay.
And then we would go back out and get our shoes, and that was that.
Well, yeah, it was like that was that kind of a deal.
That.
But on that day, I think it's the same day. Usually, you can get together with your family and you do this thing called Rosca De Reyes, and La Rosca De Reyes is think of it like a big oval pastry,
Okay.
but with a hole in the middle, like a big O.
Okay.
Okay.
Like a donut.
Kind of like a donut, but it's large. And
Okay.
It's
not round.
like a cake, bread,
Okay.
whatever. But the point is, you slice that up,
Okay.
and everybody gets a piece. But inside of that pastry, there is like a little baby baked into it out of plastic, like a little baby Jesus, I guess.
Yeah.
But the point is,
think you
if
told me
you
about
get
this.
that in your piece,
Yeah.
then you have to throw like a fiesta in like a week and a half or something like that. I don't remember when the next day that you're supposed to do it, but they do that too.
All these games. Mexicans love
So
their
many
games.
Oh, you know what? Here he goes. It says, to add some excitement, everyone in the family will take a slice of the rosca, eager to see if they'll find a baby. If you're the one that gets the baby, then you're expected to host a party on February 2nd, which is the celebration for Candlemas Day? Dia de la Candelaria, whatever.
Okay.
But that was like those. So our family did hit every one of those Mexican traditions at least once in a while. Do you know what I mean? Depending on where we were.
That's cool though.
So yeah, we don't do any of that anymore.
I know, because it's like I feel like our parents are more inclined to carry on those traditions when there's kids around.
Right.
You know, once everyone kind of becomes adults and there's no more kids, like they feel like they don't want to do it as much. I don't know what happens. Somewhere it gets lost along the way, which is sad because those are cool traditions to keep going, you know, which we totally can keep going.
Yeah. And I mean, you can make some of your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of you guys out there probably have already started your own traditions with your family.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. A lot of families will do like they all have the same pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
They all wear the same pajamas. And
yeah. I mean, it's cool. And I know some people do the elf on the shelf thing.
I don't think that's for kids.
I've never understood that.
That's for kids.
But that's like a Christmas tradition, I
think they
guess.
just keep moving the elf
right?
around the house.
But is the idea that the elf is always like...
He's mischievous, I think.
He's always messing things up.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't want to bring that into my life. Like, I don't want to be like, hey, look at how messy this elf is, and I'm letting him just hang out.
We could get creative with it.
If somebody comes to your house and just makes a mess every day.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that he has to make a mess. Maybe our elf likes to clean.
Ours is going to be Dobby the house elf. So this is Dobby the house elf. Every once in a while, he just vacuums. Take notes.
He's cleaning out the refrigerator.
Take notes, kids.
Yeah, we can make it be whatever we want. At this house, our elf
so
cleans.
funny.
But
All
yeah.
right.
Oh, are we at 20 minutes?
I actually don't know what time. We're probably at like 30 minutes now. But do you have more to go on? I don't want to cut you off.
I don't really think I don't have any other traditions. I just know that I am by far the most festive person in my family. So they, no one's really, my dad didn't grow up with Christmas. Like, he's Persian. It's an American, more so. It's not fully American, but you know what I mean? They don't really do that over there.
Right.
So he kind of, that came into his life once he had kids.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom was for it. But she just never, they grew up poor. Like, Christmas was different for them. And they didn't put, like, they did Christmas for us. But as we got older and older, I was definitely the Christmas cheerleader in the house.
Yeah, I got you.
I was like, it's almost Christmas time. Are you guys ready? Let's put up the tree. And they were like, oh God, it's too early.
No, I mean, I feel their pain. I will say that our house is a lot more festive than it ever would be.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
you would never.
You're about it.
Yeah, I'm about it.
And like I've said before, I don't mind it, but
you're
definitely the driving force.
For sure. I'm driving that Christmas bus.
I mean, you're going to have to come up with the new traditions.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Wow.
Also, I forgot one last tradition.
Okay.
Ode to my sister that has passed. I almost forgot to mention that. We did have one major tradition that we did every year. It was that her birthday is December 16th.
Okay.
And we would always go out and get the Christmas tree on that day.
Oh, that's
cool.
We
would go pick out, even after she passed, we'd be like, let's go pick out Lita's tree. And it just became this thing that we did to honor her. Mm-hmm. For her birthday, we would go and pick out a fresh Christmas tree for her birthday. And that was like the one major consistent tradition that always stayed. So that's except cool. For now.
Right. You're not going to be able to do it.
And it's just like, now, as much as I love a fresh cut Christmas tree, it feels a bit wasteful to me. I don't know. And also, it's like expensive to buy every year.
Yeah.
It's like $70 for a tree you're just going to decorate. Actually, even more. That's for like a smaller one. And you're just going to throw it away. So it's like, I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool with the fake ones.
Yeah, like I never really cared, you know, if the tree was going to be real or fake. My like I said, my parents, we talked about it before. My parents would buy a Christmas tree and then use it like 3 years in a row. Yeah. And it just kept getting like, I was like, this skeleton.
It seems a bit dangerous. Wouldn't it get dry?
Yeah, but he would just coat it in paint, which I'm sure was even like more dangerous. And he's like, oh, paint. This is non-flammable paint. I was like, you sure? It came out of a spray can, Dad. I was like, I think that's volatile.
Highly flammable. Keep away from me.
And he'd be out there smoking a cigarette, spray painting the trees. Like, it's all good.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Cheers to new Christmas traditions that you and I are building ourselves.
Yep.
Like these.
Like drinking out of these National Lampoons.
National Lampoon Moose mugs. Cheers, baby.
Cheers, baby.
And Merry Christmas to you all out there. We hope that you guys stay safe. And if you are able to, we hope that you are with your family. And if you're not,
it'll be all right.
Yeah.
So please go ahead and let us know, DM us if you guys have any Christmas traditions that are cool and you'd like to share. But if you'd like to keep it to yourself, I totally understand. It's like, damn, this is my tradition. I'm not going to share it with you jackass. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Couch Quickies. Merry Christmas to everybody. If you celebrate Christmas, and if you don't, happy holidays. Have a good time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Merry Christmas!
You'd like it.
You know what's crazy? I think I would